guys, today I want to address a question that everyone has been asking me lately, and that is why I don't call myself emo. Why don't I use the word emo to describe the way I dress or the music I listen to? And I'm going to get right into that right now. So ever since I was in middle school, I started dressing alternative. Around 11, 12, I looked really goth more than anything. I didn't wear skinny jeans. I wore black baggy pants. So my style wasn't actually emo, it was more goth. There wasn't many alternative kids that went to my middle school. There was a couple. Two of them I ended up being friends with, and they ended up stealing my money. I didn't really fit in with them. They stole my money, and they romanticized depression and self-harm. Now, let me get this straight. People who consider themselves emo don't do that. That's just a stereotype. But the school I went to, the so-called emo kids lived and breathed the stereotypes. They thought they had to do that to be emo. So anyway, I ended up not being friends with them anymore after them stealing my money. And I didn't really want to associate with someone who romanticized depression and self-harm because I lost two people. At that time, I only lost one. Unfortunately, the second time in high school, I ended up losing someone else to ending their lives. I don't appreciate when people do romanticize that. You don't have to be depressed to dress all in black. It's a stereotype. I had friends that were considered popular. I had a cheerleader friend. She also stabbed me in the back. Girls just hated me in general, no matter what I wore, no matter who I hung out with, what type of clique I hung out with. Girls in general just hated me anyways. Anyway, there was these two scene girls that hung out with the one cheerleader that I was friends with. Those two girls were the reason why that friend backstabbed me. The scene girls, they didn't like me. They made fun of me the way I dressed because I dressed more goth. They spit on my food. They spit in my face. I was treated really poorly by the alternative community. Back in middle school, I didn't even listen to bands like MCR, things that are considered emo. I listened to stuff like 3 Days Grace, Green Day, Avril Lavigne. It's not really considered emo. I guess you could call it emo, but it's not considered emo. I did listen to Paramore, which is kind of emo, but MCR just wasn't a topic in my school. I'd never heard of MCR at that time. So fast forward to 8th grade, I stopped dressing in goth clothes. I was tired of people being rude about it, so I just dressed in Aeropostale Hollister. So going into freshman year of high school, I went back to dressing alternative. It wasn't really emo. It was more punk rock. And then the next day, I'm dressing in preppy clothes. And the next day, I'm dressing in stuff that's kind of goth, ripped tights, corset, black combat boots. That's just my style. I switched back and forth. Because of that, the kids that were considered emo or alternative didn't want anything to do with me because they thought I was too preppy, which is weird because some people who see me dress alternative or goth or emo, whatever you want to say, said I was too emo and said I was a Satan worshiper. So I had one group of people say I didn't fit into the emo crowd, and then other people say I was emo. It was weird. High school didn't really make sense. So I never really had friends that were emo. A lot of them were complete opposite of me. When it came to people who were alternative, they were never nice to me. They treated me really bad. They lived by the stereotypes. I don't see the point in living by stereotypes. I don't see the point in people pointing fingers and being like, you're not a true alternative person because you listen to pop music. You don't just listen to heavy metal, you listen to rap music. So you're not a true metalhead. I hate that, and I feel like that is so toxic within the alternative community. Like I said before, not everyone acts like that, but I hate when people do because it makes me not really want to be part of that community if I'm going to be not included in that community just because I like to wear dresses like this. And then next day, I do like to wear alternative clothing. But they never really wanted to include me because of that. In high school, I hung out in different cliques. I hung out with popular guys. I hung out with the gamer guys. Most of my friends were guy friends. I got hit on by some of the real popular guys at school. Never did I get hit on by the skater boys, even though that's what I liked in high school. I had a huge crush on this one skater. And he told me one time that I was too high maintenance. My hair frizzes up a lot. So I would bring a brush and I would brush my hair. He would make a comment like, you're so high maintenance, I have high standards, because I got asked out a lot and I said no because I didn't like the people like that asked me out. And because of that, the guy that I really liked said, you must have really high standards. I don't think there's anything wrong with having high standards. Why I should lower my standards to please people. I didn't see the point of that, so I didn't. He would also make comments about people who dress in Hot Topic. I never fit in, I guess, with the emo or the skater. My friends that I had in high school would call me a preppy punk. I'm like, preppy and punk don't really go together, and at that time I was confused on what they meant by that, and I guess because I dressed punk one day, preppy the next. And to people who call themselves real emo or real punk, they're like, wow, that's just a poser. But for me, I like different styles. The majority of my clothes that I like is alternative. The stores that I shop at, even if I shop at like Victoria's Secret, Rue 21, Forever 21, stuff like that, most of the clothes are all black. Sometimes I don't wear all black. Because of that, people who are emo thought that's just not emo. I always want to have friends that would go to Warped Tour with me. I never had that. I never went to Warped Tour because I never had friends that was into Warped Tour. It would have been cool to have alternative friends, but I never really did have alternative friends. I wanted so badly to fit in with alternative, the emo kids, and I didn't. They didn't want to accept me. People I went to school with were the living, breathing stereotype. I was never depressed. I never self-harmed. I never done all that. Because of that, for some reason, people would consider you have to do that to be emo. I hate that because I think that is dangerous. That's not really an emo thing. It's a mental health thing. And people need to understand that the way people dress and the music that people listen to is separate. I mean, yes, there are emo kids who do that, but there's people who are not emo who do that. I knew a girl who was a cheerleader. Well, I didn't know her at the time. She was crying in the middle of the hallway. I talked to that girl, gave her my number. I also made sure that she needed to talk to a counselor because I'm not a counselor. I can talk to her, but she needed to get professional help. Well, she did get help from a counselor, and he basically brushed it off and was like, your life is perfect. You have your parents, you're a cheerleader, everything is fine. Parents did the same thing to her because they were basing things off of stereotypes that cheerleaders, popular kids, all happy. The only ones that get picked on are the kids that are part of the outcast. That's not true. By the way, that girl is fine now. I talked to her. I made sure she was going to go get the help she needed. People seem like they have their life all together, and people still get bullied. People get bullied if they're popular. A lot of popular girls bullied other popular girls. That didn't make them not getting bullied. Even people who weren't popular bullied the popular girls. When I hung out with the popular people, I had people that were, I don't know what group you want to call them, make fun of me, be mean. It's just how it is. I don't care to just fit in one type of clique. I like to talk to multiple people. I'm not going to change my personality to fit in different cliques. My personality will always stay the same. But because I have different music tastes, I'm able to talk to people who like rap. I'm able to talk to people who like heavy metal. I think it's awesome because I can get along with more people. As far as me, I never really considered myself emo, even though I wanted to fit in, because some people would throw the word at me as an insult, and other people would be like, you're not emo. And I'm telling you right now, if you want to call yourself emo, you can call yourself emo. You don't have to live by the stereotypes. Live outside the stereotypes. Don't live in a bubble. If you want to call yourself goth, call yourself goth. If you want to call yourself just alternative, call yourself alternative. It's alright to not fit in stereotypes. I don't fit in stereotypes. I don't fit in that box. I never did. And because of that, some people in the alternative community don't want to accept me, which broke my heart at first because I thought, this is a nice community, just like any other clique. There's nasty people in every clique. There's nice people in every clique. So one day I went into this forum called Reddit. There was this emo thread. I was like, oh, perfect. It'd be great. I'm going to post my emo Siri video here because I'm sure they'll like it. Wrong! I got lots of hate because they said that's not really emo. MCR is an emo. Hot Topic is an emo. And they kept giving me this big lecture like back in the 80s, Well, excuse me, I didn't live in the 80s. I wasn't even born in the 80s. I'm sorry. I had no idea that the emo bands that are considered emo today isn't real emo. So I got death threats from the so-called emo people. I got so much hate going down that thread, like, what is wrong with you? You stupid scene kid. That time I got called scene. You're not a true emo. Emo is this. I know a lot about punk rock bands. When I was in school, I did an entire project on how punk rock turned into pop punk. I even made a timeline. I made a scrapbook. My teacher kept the project because she really enjoyed it. I was so into pop punk and punk rock music, still am. I wasn't really familiar with the emo music until later on. A few years ago, I discovered MCR. Yes, I was late to the party. I also got really strange people asking for inappropriate stuff. It was people who were 20, 30 years older than me just being flat out rude. I don't know anything about the bands that they were talking about. I mean, I listened to 90s and some 80s bands, but usually those are like rock bands. I listened to AC/DC, Guns N' Roses and stuff like that, but I didn't know the original emo music. There was another forum called the Goth Forum. Now, I'm not goth, but there's this website that I bought off of Killstar. It's Black Friday. She is, I guess what you call a real goth. She buys stuff off of Killstar. So does Toxic Tears. She calls it a gothic website. So I thought, okay, a lot of the gothic YouTubers that are considered real goth say that this is goth, and it's even labeled as like a goth store. I posted my Killstar haul on the Gothic forum on Reddit. I got the same response I got with the emo thing, but it was more like, how dare you spend your money on this overpriced website? You need to make your own clothes. How dare you spend $30 on a choker? And I was thinking, wait a minute though, it's my money. I'm an adult. That money's my money, it's coming out of my pocket. So why do those people care if I'm spending $30 on a choker? It's my business. And they're like, you need to go vintage shopping. I'm like, that's not my style. Now I wear whatever I want. I don't care what other people have to say. I like what I like and I'm gonna wear it. If it don't fit in the alternative community all the time, that's fine. And if it does, that's fine too. I just pick out an outfit because I like it. I don't look at an outfit and be like, wow, this is so edgy. I'ma buy it because it's gonna make me look so edgy and goth. No, when I look at an outfit, I be like, wow, that's cute. I'm gonna get it. I don't even think twice that it's alternative or preppy. I know there's people who go beyond the stereotype. There's a lot of you guys who go beyond the stereotype, which is cool. You don't have to live in stereotypes. It's awesome. But there's those few people that live in those stereotypes who like to hate on people like me. And I've seen other people who dress like me on the internet had the same problem with other people in the alternative community. Point fingers and be like, you're not a real goth or you're not a real emo. Why can't people just dress the way they want, listen to the music the way they want without having to really label it? My name on YouTube is Punk Princess for a reason. The punk comes because I dress alternative. And the princess comes from because I like cute stuff like this. I like pink glittery stuff. I like pink fluffy things. It's really not that deep. I mean, it's just clothing. It's not who I am. It's a part of me, but it doesn't make me who I am. You guys can wear whatever you want. Don't listen about the labels and the stereotypes because I think that it's dumb to have to live by those. We all have our own sense of style. We can like what we want. We can hang out with who we want. We can have other friends besides alternative friends. You can have just alternative friends or you can have no alternative friends. Am I not gonna like someone because they're not alternative? No. I don't care about that. If I want to date someone that's not alternative, I'll date someone that's not alternative. So that's a little bit of why I don't consider myself emo. So I just want you guys to know that whatever you guys want to label the way you dress, or even if you don't want to label it, you don't have to worry about it and you don't have to follow stereotypes.